Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I'm so glad you're here. Today's date is Tuesday, September 27th, 2022. And in this video, I'm going a lot more deeply woo than usual. So let me just throw out a few possibilities that might make you not want to watch the rest of the video. I do not want to disturb anybody or shake up anybody's worldview. So if your current worldview does not embrace the belief that there are aliens, you'll want to avoid this video. So thank you. Don't waste time on it, okay? If your worldview doesn't embrace the thought that there are reptilians who have deeply impacted the path of humanity, you'll want to come back to this when your worldview includes that. If your worldview doesn't accept that there are people who seem to be human, and I'm speaking specifically here of the British monarchy, who actually are reptilian in nature and able to shapeshift, you'll want to leave this video, because that's where we're going, is looking at some things like that. So not specifically current events, although I'm going to ask a question about the Queen Elizabeth. But like I said, I don't want to alienate anybody's, and I don't want to disturb your worldview. So if those concepts are some that you don't embrace, and a couple of years ago, there's a couple of those I wouldn't have embraced, you'll want to watch other things. All right, but for those of you that are still hanging in with me, let me show you how I got to this particular read I'd like to do and the rabbit trail. All right. First of all, when Queen Elizabeth's funeral went on, it was quite the production, wasn't it? I called it a farce. I didn't watch it, but I have enjoyed watching some of the footage of anomalies and things like that people noticed afterwards. And I just love when people don't accept the mainstream narrative and go, but wait, why was the palm of that glove black and allowed to do that at a funeral? Why was this? One video that's available, I'm going to it right now, on skynews.net, had the quote that the Queen had been lying in state for the last 4 years in Westminster Hall. And while that could have been an anomaly, just, a mistake, they meant to say 4 days and instead they said 4 years. Okay. There was also this footage that people have been remarking on. You can find it on news.com.au or simply go to the Twitter page of An Ancient Man and listen to this. There's a female voice that enters into the audio there that talks about how the Queen's death is irreversible. Now, since you stayed with me and are open to the concept that the monarchy are actually reptilians, one of the facts, and it's not firsthand, I don't claim to be an expert, I claim to be curious. Well, one of the things I've read is that Queen Elizabeth was actually thousands of years old, and at the point of death in whatever body she was at, she could then body jump into another body, and had done so time and time and time again. So then it was said that the only way that she could be permanently done away with was to keep her suspended between dimensions long enough that her life force energy dissipated, and then her death would be irreversible. So apparently there was a window of time for which she could do the body jump. But if she was held interdimensionally long enough, it could no longer happen. So I got to speculating, I heard that quote about the 4 years, and it's been common chatter on alt media that she has been gone for several years. So I think in the truther community, you would find very few people who thought that her death actually happened when it was reported earlier this month, that she has been dead for quite some time. And I'm not going to speculate on how that audio got the voice on it. Some said it sounded like Princess Di. I'm not going to go there. But what I would like to ask is it true that the Queen's death is now irreversible? Was her actual physical death kept secret in part until she had been held interdimensionally long enough that she could not body jump? So that's our question. Is that part of the reason why there was this delay between her demise and the report of her demise? Was in part for her, she wanted to leave a legacy and probably snickered all the way to the wherever her demise occurred because she planned to body jump. And is it possible that it was a white hat move to hold her interdimensionally until that wasn't a possibility for her? And if so, can you imagine the conniption and tantrum she had when she realized that? Oh my gosh. So, we know the white hats, especially with Mr. T as part of the mix, are pretty good at playing 5D chess. So was this a chess move? Okay. Did she go to her demise earlier, planning to body jump? Did the white hats have a plan in place to hold her interdimensionally until that was no longer an option? So let's see what the cards have to say, and if there's other information relating to this subject that the universe wants to share. I told you we're going a little deeper woo than I usually go. Okay, so let's see. But I could just see that. She's snickering, thinking, I'll be right back. Hold my beer. Okay, let's see what the cards have to say. 1 second. So, universe, is it true that she was held interdimensionally until her death was irreversible? And is there other information the universe wants us to know about Queen Elizabeth? Okay, we have the Six of Wands, Knight of Wands, Strength, King of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, Four of Swords, Seven of Wands. So is the rumor true that the Queen's death is irreversible, that she was held interdimensionally until such time as she could no longer body jump? And let's see what the cards have to say. Our basic question, we have a victory card here, kind of a yes, because this is a victory card. And the Knight of Wands clarifies it a little bit. He's pretty restless. See, wands are actions. So there was a lot of activity involved around this. He can be a little bit reckless. It depends on how he's supervised. And since he is right adjacent to the King of Cups, he's pretty tricky. Yeah, it was a miscalculation on the part of the reptilian royals. So in the recent past, we have the Strength card. showing up, and definitely a positive energy card, which I would not attribute to the monarchy in any way, shape, or form, and loving strength. So in a move of strength, yes. Despite the fact that they were hoping, King of Cups here, they hope they had a plan that would work for her. She is indeed gone for good. Okay, now looking at the near future, okay, they're going to have to kind of revise. We know that there are government revisions, and there's going to be an end to a lot of formerly supposedly self-proclaimed elite families and situations. They're not going to go without a fight. We know that. I mean, there's been one ongoing quietly. So that's not going to stop. But we're coming up at a time where there will be a little bit less activity. As always, some things going on in the background that we won't be made privy to, no matter how awake we are, if we're not ground troops, or alliance aligned. We're not going to know. Let's look at some other cards, get some other information here. We have the King of Pentacles showing up. Now, he's a faithful provider and a card of success. So yes, white hats have had a success here with the Queen. It was hard won, definitely hard won. King of Swords, almost my ultimate white hat card showing up here. Yeah, 5D chess was in process here, and the world is in a much better place. So we seem to have an answer there. The Queen's death is irreversible, and it was not made public until that time was assured. So I'd always assumed that the lag between her demise and the announcement had to do with her being allowed a legacy for a time. And she probably thought that that was the case too, but she's gone for good. So one major reptilian negative energy is gone from our plane of existence for good. Now, since you stayed with me and your filter is open to the idea of aliens or off-world, other type of sentient beings, I would encourage you, as that knowledge becomes more open and more public, let's not paint everything with the same paintbrush. Okay, so while we've had reptilians that have heard the path of Earth, have used us as a product, possibly even, like farm animals, we need to, group by group, be willing to know and accept that there are, just like among our human race, there are good, there are bad, there are differences and variations that can vary widely as far as beliefs and practices and intent. So let's keep an open mind. If we've got it open far enough that we're willing to embrace the thought of other races, other types of beings, we need to also be open to the fact that some of them are positive, some of them have good intentions, and some of them could be welcomed and partnered with discernment, with caution. We've been burned. We've been enslaved for thousands of years. So I'm not saying, throw out daisies and, break open the champagne every time we learn that there's another type of intelligence willing to interact with us or possibly be of use to us. Just don't automatically say, hell no, and don't automatically say, oh yeah, sounds great. Let's use our logic and critical thinking in all situations, including, meeting new friends. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for going down this deep rabbit trail with me. Okay. And for those of you that stayed with me, I do appreciate it. And we'll get back. I'll stay more on current events and things like that for the future. But this one kept telling me it wanted to be talked about, this topic. So anyway, we did it. Thank you. Until next time, I send you love and wish all good things for you. Blessings. Bye.